They use her textbooks to train nail technicians in many countries in the world. She's worked in pretty much every sector that the nail industry has. And she's a brand advisor. What can I say? Today, my conversation is with the great Marian Newman. Hello, Marian.
Thank you. Lovely to see you, Nergish.
Thank you, Marian. And Marian, I introduced you as the First Lady of Nails. I think most people will describe you that way. And let's start as we mean to go on, basically. Could you talk about what you believe are your top 3 accomplishments in your career thus far?
I would say probably the first was being asked to write a textbook. At that time, I was more or less full-time teaching, both in FE, so in the sort of the big colleges, and also I have my own training school as well. From there, it was a daunting process. It was a very, very long process, but anyway, I did it, and it got past the first one.
I ask, is there 4 editions? Am I right?
Yeah, there are 4. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I have to put this like quite high on my list of accomplishments, because I wrote one, and it was so successful that each 4 to 5 years I had to update into a new edition. And the latest edition, which is number 4, that was published exactly 3 years ago. And in addition, I've co-authored 3 others.
So could I just clarify? It's not, the textbooks are used to train nail technicians internationally. There are many countries that refer to your textbooks.
Yeah. I mean, it's available on Amazon, and it is sold. It's sold everywhere, really. You don't get rich writing textbooks. Okay. It's a labour of love.
I believe you get a headache, though.
Yeah, it gives you a headache.
For sure. I can't even imagine writing a textbook, but there you go.
No, I'm not sure I'm going to do another one. I think I'm probably done. I'm doing something else, another project in education. It's a different way of teaching, basically, because the theory, and I'm the theory geek. I really am the science geek rather than the creative geek.
Right.
It's in general, and I'm really generalizing here, but the theory side of things is largely skipped over. It's designed so that it hits all the learning styles, because everyone learns in a very different way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And certainly, I hope it's more visual, because I think people will learn better in our industry. So moving on, I'd just like to touch on this. Is one of your next accomplishments, you've got another book out. I think it's your journey, isn't it? Nailed It?
This isn't an educational book. This is about my career, basically. It mostly focuses on my career in the media and fashion, only because I've got such a huge amount of pictures, basically.
Oh, yeah, exposure and pictures, and also your work is highly respected everywhere. I mean, you and I judge some of the awards at Scratch magazine, the Scratch Star Nail Awards. Yeah. And I have to say, you are so respected in that room as well. I mean, and the top people in the industry, and it's amazing to watch. So yes, I imagine that you've got a gallery full of pictures.
Full of pictures and anecdotes. It's sort of a coffee table book.
So I have a question there. Because I guess my audience is predominantly salon and spa and barbershop owners around the world, because that's what I do. I educate them in the business of beauty and hair. Could I ask, this might be of interest to the younger nail technicians out there. You said you play a very big role in fashion, and that you've had experiences, and I suspect that you have celebrity customers, etc. For the people out there who are hoping to get into that side of things, could you tell them how that came about in your career? What sparked that off? Was it just an accident? Often it is. It was in luck, or right place, right time, whatever.
That's exactly it. It happened. It was a happy accident. Right. It was the right place, right time. It was around 96. It was that long ago.
Right.
And this part of the sort of the nail career path
yes.
didn't exist.
Right.
And that's how it happened.
And so you went on, and then you just kept getting asked for things because people knew of you.
Yeah, well, because there was nobody around, and that happy accident was with one of the best photographers in the world, and as it happened, it was the fashion director of British Vogue who was styling the whole thing. And this is actually in my book, because it's what it's all about, basically. It's what the whole thing of working in the media, in the creative side of the media, is all about. And she is fashion director of British Vogue. A few months before Vogue had come out with Kate Moss on the cover, right. And she'd got letters. There was no internet then. This was like 96, so there was no internet. And she got letters, or Vogue got letters, to say that you've got the beautiful Kate Moss on your cover and she's got grubby nails. Because nobody was there to focus on that tiny part.
Brilliant.
So I went and did that particular job, the happy accident, and I don't know exactly how much later, but no more than a couple of months, I did my very first Vogue cover with Kate Moss. And
wow.
that was my first, going into the whole glossy magazine fashion thing. British Vogue, Kate Moss, cover.
Serendipity. Wow.
Yeah, totally.
If a nail technician did want to go down that route, maybe a couple of tips of how to sort of get the exposure. I mean, would she just volunteer for things? Would she not just put herself in the path? How does she put herself in the path, or he put himself in the path of it?
Well, the whole situation has changed now from 20 years ago.
Yes,
so now there are agencies that have nail technicians on their books. So and there are lots and lots of them. Hair and makeup agencies are all over the world. There are big ones, there are small ones, there are some that concentrate more on commercial, there's some that concentrate on film and TV, there are others that concentrate on fashion. And nearly all of them now, it's taken a long time, but nearly all of them now do have a couple of nail professionals on their books to do, to do this sort of work. So for somebody that wants to dip the toe in the water, because it's not for everybody, absolutely not for everybody.
Yeah.
Is to contact these agencies and volunteer to assist.
Superb.
And that's the best way. So somebody who's on their books that maybe has got a job with a lot of models and needs some help, they haven't got a team of their own. I happen, over the years, I've now got my own team, so I don't take anybody else on now, but lots don't. And so just volunteering to say, can I assist your artist?
So would it be great to have a little portfolio of their best work ready to hand at all times?
Yes. I mean, everything is online now. I've still got my original portfolios that had to be my agency would keep them, and if somebody wanted to see examples of my work, they would bike the portfolio over to wherever, the producers or whatever. But now it's online.
Tell me, has your work changed? Has your work changed over the years?
Yeah, it has, because products have changed. So, whereas some of the things I did in the early days, and also in the early days, you have to remember there was no Photoshop then.
Yes, of course.
So it was, I mean, I think one of the reasons I did keep getting rebooked is that the hand retouching, which, as it was then, which was hours and hours of work, they didn't have to do too much to my work. So that is one way that you get rebooked, because you're not actually costing money in the retouching department.
So I hope everyone listening here learns that is one skill you must have. Wonderful.
You've got to be able to look at what you've done in close up, and it needs to be as perfect as you can possibly do. Now, that's just not for photography. That is for a client as well. You've got to exceed that client's expectations and do what she can't do or he can't do for themselves. And you've got to be able to do it better. Otherwise, why are they paying you to do it? So
absolutely. So my recommendation would be buy a magnifying glass.
I haven't used it for a while, but I have used it in the past. I've got one of these they're little microscopes, and you attach it to your laptop with a USB,
Yes.
and it gives you like 50 times.
The
And I've used it in teaching, actually, to say, you know, if you think you've done the edge of that polish neat, let's just have a look. Or if you think you haven't scratched that nail plate,
Super.
let's just take a look at that. And it always is shock, horror. It's like, oh, no, it's like, yeah, you can't do that. You've got to make it perfect.
Could I now draw your attention, and I know that this will be very helpful to our viewers. One lesson that you've learned in your career, an important lesson that you would perhaps give, I guess, an advisory to people that are watching, that this is one of the pitfalls that you have had to overcome. So what would that be? What would a good lesson be?
Be brave.
Be brave.
Yeah. Be brave, because for a lot of people, the barriers are your own barriers.
Right.
You overcome you should be in competition, if you like, with yourself.
Yeah.
And be the best version of yourself, and
right.
do the best you can do in whatever it is you choose to do.
There are two questions that I'd like to get your advice on, which I think is important to the industry. And one of them would be, do you have any words of advice for baby boomers, us, our generation, of how to become current in the world of nails? So basically, the owners of our businesses tend to be baby boomers. And what are we yet to do? Where should we dip our toes to become more current for nails?
As much as sort of age and experience gives you confidence and an understanding, I think it's a mistake if you feel that you know it all and you haven't updated your education, because you did, I don't know, whatever, you did the Revlon manicure back 40 years ago and you haven't updated that, you know. So I think there's the ups and the lows. The ups are the experience, but the lows is if you haven't kept up. So your lifetime learning.
Absolutely that. So to keep current in nails, one word of advice when I go out to train salon owners and spa owners and stuff, my biggest bugbear is know your business. Know it. You know, you've got a nail technician there. Do you know and understand the nail business thoroughly? Because I understand you're providing a whole, you know, plethora of treatments in hairdressing, in wellness, but for me, I find that our generation almost stops learning at a point and says, oh, my experience, and then they don't tend to make it. I'm generalizing, and forgive me for those who do keep up to date, but I don't know whether it's true. I feel that they should refer back to textbooks. I think they should see the fourth edition of your textbook, because it's changed from the very first edition. And that learning has to continuously happen. Never mind that you're not doing nails. The fact that you're offering nails and someone is doing them on your behalf, shouldn't that be something that I guess owners of businesses should be on top of the whole time?
Every day.
The last bit of advice, how do we attract Generation Z into our businesses, customers in nails, specifically in nails? What do we have to do to attract those as customers? And what do we have to do to attract them to take up nails as a career? What are we going to have to do?
Well, they're two big subjects.
Yes, no, but
okay.
A couple of words of advice from you, because I know that people are thinking about this just now and talking about this. So from your perspective, to do with nails specifically, if there are a couple of little nuggets that we could get from you, that would be incredibly helpful to the audience.
Okay, so from a client point of view, so from the Gen Z, the American terminology, they don't have obviously as much disposable income as the older generations do, but they love their nails. You know, so many love their nails. So I think to encourage them into being a client is to offer services that are very high quality, because quality is everything. And I don't mean decrease the prices. I don't mean offer a cheap service, because these cheap services is doing nobody any good. So offer a service that is costed correctly, so that, you know, the cost of product, the time taken, etc. But maybe offer them like a quicker service, so they can get the fun stuff. You know, if it's just bright color, or if it's just a bit of pigment or a bit of glitter or a design, but make it in such a way that you don't have to charge a huge amount of money. And, you know, you get somebody at the beginning like that, and they trust you, they love what you do, they believe in your professionalism, you'll have them for life. So
and
I think that
in industry employees, getting them into the workforce.
So I think what we should be doing is we should be raising the level of education to make this a professional career instead of a potential hobby. So I think, you know, I wish school, like the careers advisors in school, you hear so many times is well, you're not very academic, so why don't you be a beauty therapist? Why don't you be a nail technician? No.
We've been battling this stigma for years. And, you know, I'm kind of hoping that I know that a level of respect has risen during this lockdown for our profession. I know that has happened. I don't know if that, I know they crave us wanting to make them look better. I hope in this moment that we actually understand our place in, I guess, in society, really, what value we provide, because we're there as an industry. We make people feel better. That helps with mental health. It helps with confidence. It helps with so many other things, basically, you know, in hair, in nails, and in beauty, in wellness. We really have to understand where we fit. And, you know, I could talk about this for a long time, but you know, you've hit the nail on the head there. We are going to have to make it less for them a hobby and more a career prospect. And
we're professionals, and, you know, professionals should be a professional. They should behave like a professional. It is a whole career, but if you do it right, it's a very good, it has a very good income if you do it right. You know, so many people are charging ridiculously low sums. Well, they're almost paying their clients to let them do their nails, because they can't have any profit left after it.
Correct.
Whereas there's no need for that. It is potentially a very good earning career if you do it properly.
What can I say? Thank you so much for your time and energy. I am truly blessed to have had the chance to have this conversation with you, and I know that the viewers will enjoy it.
Thank you for inviting me, Nergish.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll get to see every conversation with every expert.